We need to talk about recruiting metrics because there's a huge gap between the metrics organizations obsess over and the metrics that tell you if recruiting is doing its job. Every year, HR leaders pull reports on the same 6 numbers: time to fill, cost per hire, source of hire, offer acceptance rate, quality of hire, and candidate satisfaction. And look, these are not bad metrics. They're just incomplete. And in a lot of cases, they are measuring the wrong person. Here's what I mean. Let's go through each one, and I want you to ask yourself, does my recruiter actually control this? Time to fill. Time to fill is the number of days from when a role opens to when an offer is accepted. Sounds simple, but here's what that number actually depends on. How fast does the hiring manager respond to candidate submissions? How many rounds of interviews does the company require? Are those interviewers available? Does the role go on a headcount freeze in the middle of the search? I have seen great recruiters submit great candidates within the first 2 weeks and then wait 40 days for the hiring manager to schedule a call. Is that the recruiter's fault? Absolutely not. But guess whose metric gets dinged? Number 2, cost per hire. Cost per hire is the total cost of filling a role divided by the number of hires. Job board fees, agency cost, recruiter salaries, sourcing tools. Add it all up, divide by hires. Now, does your recruiter pick which job boards the company subscribes to? Do they negotiate the LinkedIn contract? Did they decide whether to use an agency? In most big organizations, the answer is no. Those decisions are made by procurement, HR leadership, or by finance. The recruiter is handed a budget, more often no budget, and told to make it work. Cost per hire is an organizational metric, not a recruiter metric. Number 3, offer acceptance rate. This one really gets me. Offer acceptance rate tracks how many candidates accept the offer extended, and everyone looks at this like it's a recruiter performance number. But let's be real. Who sets the comp bands? Not the recruiter. Who decides the PTO policy? Not the recruiter. Who determines whether the role is remote, hybrid, or in office 5 days a week? Definitely not the recruiter. If your offer acceptance rate is low, the problem is almost never the recruiter. It's the offer. Fix your compensation, fix your flexibility, and then come talk to me. Number 4, quality of hire. Quality of hire is probably the most talked about metric and simultaneously the hardest measure. It usually looks at things like performance reviews, retention, time to productivity. But here's the thing. A great candidate can be hired into a bad manager and be labeled low quality within 6 months. Quality of hire depends on onboarding. It depends on management. It depends on the company culture they walk into. Your recruiter found the person, but they don't control what happens after the offer is accepted. So, what does the recruiter control? What metrics actually reflect a recruiter's skill, effort, and impact? Great question. Let me tell you. Number 1, sourced to interview rate. This is the percentage of candidate a recruiter actively sources who make it to a first interview, not a recruiter screen. This tells you how good the recruiter is at identifying the right talent. Are they sending warm bodies to hit a number, or are they being strategic and precise about who they put into the pipeline? A high source to interview rate means your recruiter is doing their homework. They know the role, they know what good looks like, and they're not wasting anyone's time. That is a skill worth measuring. Number 2, applicant to interview rate. Same concept, but for inbound applicants. Out of everyone who applies to a role, what percentage actually makes it to a screening call? This shows you how effectively a recruiter is screening and identifying fit, quickly and accurately. A recruiter who moves right people forward is infinitely more valuable than one who just moves people through. Number 3, pipeline diversity. This one is entirely in the recruiter's hands. Who are they sourcing? Where are they posting? What communities are they reaching? If your pipeline is homogeneous, that is a sourcing strategy problem, and your recruiter owns that strategy. Pipeline diversity shows you whether your team is actually committed to building inclusive, representative talent pools, not just talking about it. Number 4, candidate experience score. Now, candidate experience shows up on everyone's common metrics list. It is usually measured inconsistently though, and it's rarely tied to what happens at each specific stage. A recruiter can control how quickly they respond to candidates, how clearly they communicate next steps, how they handle rejections, whether the candidate feels seen and respected throughout the process. When candidate satisfaction is low, look at where in the process it drops. Is it at a recruiter touch point, or is it at a hiring manager interview? Those are very different problems with very different solutions. Number 5, source effectiveness. Source of hire is on the common list, but most teams only track where the hire comes from, not whether that source is producing quality hires. Source effectiveness asks, which sourcing channels are converting? Are the employee referrals staying longer? Is LinkedIn producing better quality than job boards? This is a metric your recruiter can actually do something with. If they know which sources work, they can double down. If a channel is producing high volume but low conversion, you need to cut it. I have a bonus one, and recruiters, don't get mad at me, just hear me out. Cost per hire, but smarter. I said cost per hire is largely out of the recruiter's control, and I stand by that. But if you give recruiters visibility into which sourcing channel costs the least and produce the best result, they can optimize. Cost per hire becomes a useful metric when recruiters have agency over the sourcing strategy. Without that, it's just a number that gets pulled into the quarterly deck, and nothing changes. You might be asking, what do we do with this information? If you're a recruiter, start tracking these numbers for yourself, even if your organization doesn't ask for them. Because when you walk into a review and say, my source to interview rate is at 68%, my pipeline diversity increased by 30%, candidate satisfaction at my touch point is consistently above 4.5 out of 5. You are no longer a recruiter just filling seats. You are a strategic partner with data to back it up. And if you're an HR leader, maybe watching this, the metrics you're holding recruiters to might be measuring the system, not the person. Audit your metrics, ask which one your recruiters actually control, and build accountability around those. That's how you build a recruiting team that performs. That's how you retain great recruiters. And that's how you actually improve your talent acquisition process from the inside out. Okay, that's it for today. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Drop a comment if there's a metric that your company is tracking right now that's making you mad, because I want to hear about them. And until next time, stay caffeinated.